everyone, welcome back to Throwback Thursday. We are going to do this wishing you the happiest of birthdays card today. I am using the retired butterfly Gala set with the butterfly punch, and I'm combining it with the happiest of birthdays set that is still current, and I'm pairing it with new items, the New Horizons Designer Series paper and the brushed brass butterflies. So let's get started on this card. It is a lot of fun. When I first got this set, when it was current, I kind of looked at it and went, wow, that's a lot of work to fill in all the pieces of the butterflies and things like that. So I didn't use it a lot because I felt it was a little bit intimidating. But when you pair it with the New Horizons Designer Series paper, the paper does all the work for you. So I'm just going to pop this off to the side for now. And I'm going to take the Designer Series paper, which is gorgeous and beautiful on its own, and I am going to stamp it with the black Memento ink and make sure I've got good coverage, and I do. And I'm just stamping towards the bottom of this sheet because I want kind of the mix of colors that's in the bottom here. And also stamping towards the bottom makes it really easy to cut out with the punch. So a little tip that I figured out when I came back to using this one, which I didn't learn until after I'd already cut everything out, is there are these little bodies that you can stamp in. And there's space in the punches for them. So if you look at the punch, you can see where kind of that body piece is going to be. And on the little ones, it's really easy. You just center it and you're good to go. The larger ones, I found that I didn't get those right first or last. Like none of them looked right. So they're big enough that when you finish punching them out, you can add the bodies later. So I'm just going to go ahead and punch these out, lining up my butterfly top and bottom. And the nice thing about this punch is it matches the stamp perfectly. So you punch out two perfect butterflies at once. And so I'm just going to line this up and pop those out. And you can see the beautiful colors that they are without having to do any coloring at all. Okay, so there we go. That's our third set of butterflies. So you've got this piece of Designer Series paper left over now, but you could cut this off here and trim it down and use this piece on another card as a horizon on another card. So that paper is not wasted. But what we need to do now is we need to come back in and we need to do the bodies for the large butterflies. So now that we know where the punches punched them out, we can just come back in and add our bodies, and then they look like they fit instead of my original ones that look like they're all over the place. So that's a quick tip just to make sure your butterfly bodies are centered. So I'm just going to put these off just to the side for now. And we need to bring in our rich razzleberry card base and our, again, another piece of New Horizons, the Designer Series paper that we're actually going to stamp right on one with the rich razzleberry. Now this is not a photopolymer stamp. It's just one of the basic rubber ones. So I need to stamp away on a scrap piece of paper to make sure I've got good coverage. So this is one of my grid paper sheets that I've used. So I just cut them up into small pieces so that I can use them as scrap paper. And I also use them for sorting things out in the Stamparatus as well. Just to make sure that I've got better coverage now. So I'm just going to ink this up really well, and I'm going to come into the middle of my piece of Designer Series paper, plop that down, give it a good push, and there we go. We've got the stamped image right in the middle of our piece of Designer Series paper. Now you can absolutely use this in the Stamparatus, 100%. So what I did is I just kind of placed the butterflies where I wanted them before I got going. And I want this one up here because these two are a similar color and this one is really different. So I kind of want them a bit spread apart. And then the little butterflies, I'm just going to place randomly here. So the large butterflies I did dimensionalize. So I can just pop that over. Pop a dimensional. I just put one dimensional right in the middle of the back of the butterfly. And, oh, you know what I'm going to do? Sorry, before I do any of that, is I'm going to stick this down. I knew there was a reason that I had put this down first, and that's because the butterfly at the top tends to have its wings over the edge of the Designer Series paper, and I want to make sure that I am still on the card base. So we'll do that. We'll pop this down, and if its wings go over, they just go over a little bit. Okay, so we're going to carry on with our putting dimensionals on the back of the larger butterflies. And we'll just stick those down like that. And then this one like this. And I love using the Designer Series paper and just using the Memento ink and then punching out because they're so, each one is so very different, but you didn't have to color them in. I've seen people who did an amazing job, just a super amazing job of coloring them in. I don't have that kind of talent or that amount of patience. So I tend to just go ahead and use the paper that's already decorated to create my images this way. And I'm just going to stick this one down. And I got to this point and I looked at it and I thought that's a really pretty card. I like the way the butterflies are coming off the page, but I thought it needed a little something. So out came the brushed brass butterflies, and I'm just using the smaller ones, just tucking them in onto the card where I think they need to go. And this one I would like to be just a little bit lower. There we go. So yeah, I'm just popping them on, and they're actually metal. They're nice and sturdy. I'm going to pop one more down at the bottom like that. And there we have a wishing you the happiest of birthday cards using the retired Butterfly Gala set, pairing it with the current Happiest of Birthdays and with the brushed brass butterflies. So thank you so much for watching, and let's create together again soon.